Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to another Spanish live lesson. This week we are gonna talk about el tiempo. El tiempo, that's the weather. So, I think it's quite an important topic. I think it's universal, but because the weather is something that everyone experiences, it's like the first thing to talk about when you first meet someone and want to break the ice, right? So I think it's quite an important topic to see. And we are gonna wait for a few more minutes for people to join us on Facebook and YouTube. Remember to leave your comments on there if you have any question or any comment. I'll be watching the lesson, watching your comments during the lesson and try to answer all your questions. So, thank you for joining us. I think so. Anthony Black is joining us. So Australian living in Colombia. Thank you for joining us. I hope that you learned something this week. We have also Nicolás Lane. Hola, ¿qué tal? Bien, ¿tú qué tal, Nicolás? Gracias. So, Hola, Diana. Hola, gracias. So thank you everyone for joining us. How is your week going? It's already the end of the month. I cannot believe that the whole month has already passed by. It's crazy. Yeah. As one grow older, like the time goes quicker and quicker, and it's very scary. But what can we do about that, right? So we have Frank also joining us, Margaret, John from Jamaica. Thank you, Bruce, Jether, Jacob. Hola, profesora. Hola, Cesar also joining us. Thank you, everyone. So. Before starting with this week's lesson, I want to let you know that we have prepared some PDF cheat sheets with vocabulary about all possible topics. So you have love, business, work, school, and they are. So I have them here. As you can see, I don't know if you can see from there, but they are divided in topics, and you have all the vocabulary you need about that topic in a particular PDF. So it's very easy to relate all these words and to learn them together when they are all about the same topic. And also you have some good graphics that always help. So if you want to get these PDF cheat sheets for free, don't click on the link on the description below and sign up for a free lifetime account. And you can get all this and keep studying Spanish. So it's not only on Thursday that you study with me, but during all the week. So, I see that more people are joining us, also from the USA. Frank, Sus, quiero hablar español. I hope that you learned some useful Spanish with us today. Dami, hola. Also from Japan, Chamila, from Canada, Margaret, Suk, hola. So I see we have people from all over the world, so I want you to tell me after this lesson what the weather is in your particular country at the moment. I'm sure that we are gonna get a lot of different answers. So let's start with the lesson. As I mentioned before, we are gonna talk about el tiempo. El tiempo. Tiempo is weather in Spanish. It also means time. But today we are not gonna talk about time. We are gonna talk about the weather. The topics that we are gonna divide the lesson in are, first, we are gonna learn how to preguntar. Preguntar is ask what the weather is like. Then we are gonna see some expresiones y vocabulario básico sobre el clima. So some phrases and basic vocabulary about the weather. Then we are gonna see verbos usados cuando hablamos del tiempo en español. So the verbs that we use when we talk about the weather in Spanish. Then, I'm gonna talk a bit about the weather in Spain, el tiempo en España, tiempo en España. And then, as I mentioned before, talking about the weather is a very common way. I think it's a universal way of breaking the ice and first talking to someone. So we are gonna see what expression we use to romper el hielo, romper el hielo. So literally break the ice. So yeah, let's first start with the first topic, asking, preguntando, what the weather is like. So we normally say, ¿qué tiempo hace? ¿Qué tiempo hace? So, ¿qué tiempo hace? Like literally, if we translated it literally, it would be, what weather is it? What's the weather like? ¿Qué tiempo hace? In some, as I normally mention, like the Spanish we are gonna learn here is Spain Spanish, but of course there are a lot of countries in Latin America that also speak Spanish, and they might use some expressions that we don't normally use in Spain. For example, to ask about the weather in Latin America is probably, it's more common to say, ¿cómo está el clima? ¿Cómo está el clima? So translated literally it would be like, how is the weather? How is the weather? The climate, maybe. So yeah. ¿Qué tiempo hace? ¿Cómo está el clima? So that's how you ask what the weather is like. Now that you know how to ask about it, we are gonna go to our second topic. So it's, as I mentioned, expresiones y vocabulario básico sobre el clima. Phrases and basic vocabulary about the weather. So some basic words that will help you answer the question we saw before is frío, frío, frío. So it's cold. Calor, 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 hot. Nublado, 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 cloudy. Templado, templado, templado. So temperate, not hot, not cold. An average temperature. Nevado, nevado, nevado. It's snowy. Lluvioso, lluvioso, lluvioso. It's rainy. So let's see how to answer. What the complete answer could be if someone asks you, ¿qué tiempo hace? ¿Qué tiempo hace? As we are gonna see later in the lesson, we normally use 3 verbs to answer that question. We are gonna first start giving some examples with the verb hacer. So we use the third person of the singular, not because the subject is he or she or it. They are called impersonal forms, so there's no subject in these sentences when we talk about the weather. So, yeah, ¿qué tiempo hace? So we answer with hace from the verb hacer. And then we, depending on the weather, right, we add one of these words. So we have hace calor. Hace calor. It's hot. Hace calor. Hace frío. Hace frío. It's cold. Hace frío. Hace viento. Hace viento. It's windy. Hace viento. we haven't seen it before. Viento is wind in Spanish, so hace viento, like there's wind. Hace sol, it's sunny. Sol is sun in Spanish. Hace buen tiempo. Hace buen tiempo. The weather is nice. Buen tiempo, good weather in Spanish. So hace buen tiempo. Hace fresco. Hace fresco. So fresco it's a bit cold. It's not really cold. It's just a tiny bit. So hace fresco. And then we have the opposite of buen tiempo. Is mal tiempo. Bad weather is hace mal tiempo. Hace mal tiempo. So the weather is bad. So already you can say a lot of things about the weather. I want you, as I mentioned, to start thinking about the weather in where you're living now. So you can, like, after the lesson, tell me what the weather is like in your area. And yeah, if you have any question, like as I said, like don't forget to leave it on the comments, and I'll be looking at them. So now we are gonna go to the third topic. So the third topic is verbos usados cuando hablamos del tiempo en español. Verbos usados cuando hablamos del tiempo en español. So it's verbs used when we talk about the weather in Spanish. Verbs used when we talk about the weather in Spanish. So, well, you already have learned one of them, right? Is the verb hacer. Hacer. So, hacer, as I mentioned, we use the third person, the impersonal. We make it impersonal, so there's no subject to the sentence. So it's hace plus the word we like related to the weather. Then the second verb we use is the verb haber. Haber. That's the verb. Well, there is would be translated into English. And the third person, the impersonal, better said, is I. I. So, for example, yeah, when we want to say there's something, hay algo, I is the third person. And then we have the verb estar, estar. So that's the verb to be. And the third person is está, está. So we are gonna see now some examples of words you can use with these three verbs. In some cases, some words you can use with two of these verbs, for example. In some other cases, it's more natural to use one word with one verb in particular, depending on the country you are in. So, I mean, of course, there are some that are quite fixed and that you only use with one verb, but there are some others that are a bit more flexible, so you have to learn them from the context, pay attention when they are used and when they are used. So, yeah. So we already said some words that you can use with the verb hacer. So now we are gonna see some words that you can use with the verb haber. So I, in the third person. So yeah, we have haber, I. Hay niebla. Hay niebla. So in English it would be it's foggy. Hay niebla. Another one is hay viento. Hay viento. It's windy. So if you pay attention to this, you can see that we have here hay viento, but we can also say hace viento. So yeah, it's something that, I mean, you can say both of them. Yeah, it's the same meaning, but maybe hace viento is more natural in Spain. I'm not sure about all the other Latin American countries, what they normally use. But in Spain, for example, hace viento sounds more natural. Hay nubes. Hay nubes. So nubes is clouds in Spanish. So hay nubes is it's cloudy in Spanish. So we are gonna see that we can say this. Literally it means there are clouds. There are clouds. And then using the third verb that we are gonna see, we can also see it's cloudy. So you can say say the both ways. Both like there are clouds and it's cloudy. Then we have, for example, luna llena. Luna llena. So luna llena is full moon. So hay luna llena. Hay luna llena. So there's full moon. That's not really about the weather, right? But I mean, so hay sol. Hay sol. So you can see again that we have sol, sun in Spanish. Hay sol would be translated as there's a sun, literally. And then already we used sun, sol, with the verb hacer. Hace sol. So it would be like it's sunny or there is sun. But in the end, it's the same. You want to say that it's sunny. So there are like these two ways. Also, hay neblina. Hay neblina. So neblina would be like mist, fog. So it's foggy, it's misty. Hay neblina. Hay neblina. Neblina. Yeah. And then the last one we are gonna see with the verb haber is humedad. Humedad. So humedad is humidity. Hay humedad. Hay humedad. So it's very humid. So before getting into the third verb, the verb estar, I wanted to remind you that you can find these PDF cheat sheets with a lot of useful vocabulary about different topics. So we have cheat sheets, for example, about hobbies, about business, about love, school, all imaginable topics. They are very well presented, designed with these pictures and diagrams. So it's very easy to learn them. For example, here you have vocabulary related to the office. You have the picture of an office with all these arrows, so you can know what each of these objects is. So very useful. You can of course see these sheets while you are on your computer or iPad or smartphone even, but I still feel like the best is to have them printed, right, and be able to highlight all the words you still don't know and take notes, and maybe if you already know the word, create some sentences using them. Being able to fill the sheets and have them and edit them and do whatever you need to learn these words. So remember to click on the link on the description below to sign up for a free lifetime account and get them. So we have here Dri Gomez. He's saying, hola Rosa, hoy hace mucho frío en el norte de Brasil, que es raro. Abrazos. So Dri is saying that it's very cold. Hace mucho frío. Hace mucho frío. That it's very cold. En el norte de Brasil, so in the north of Brazil. And he's saying that that's strange. Thank you for your comment. Nice to know. Oh, so Nicolas also just commented, hace buen tiempo aquí, pero hay mucho viento, como siempre. So he's saying, the weather is nice here, hace buen tiempo aquí, here, pero hay mucho viento. Pero hay mucho viento, but it's very windy. Thank you for your comments. So now we are gonna see the third verb that we use to answer the question, what's the weather like? And that's the verb estar. And with the other two verbs, we use the third person of the singular to answer the question. So it's está. So here I have some words that we normally use with está. So, está tronando. Está tronando. It's thundering. So, está tronando. You could also say, hay truenos. So, trueno is thunder in Spanish. So, hay truenos. Another expression we use with estar is está lloviendo. So, lloviendo is the gerund form of the verb to rain, raining. So, it is raining. Está lloviendo. Está lloviendo. Another word is está oscuro. Oscuro is dark in Spanish, so está oscuro. It's dark. Está oscuro. Then we have está nublado. Está nublado. Nublado, cloudy. Está nublado. Then we have está húmedo. Está húmedo. It's humid. Está húmedo. Then we have está nevando. Está nevando. Nevando is the gerund form of the verb nevar, snow. So it's snowing. Está nevando. And the last example we have here with the verb to be is está soleado. Está soleado. Soleado is sunny, so está soleado. So you have here a lot of, I think you can pretty much say everything about the weather with all these expressions, right? If there's something that you think that it's not on this list, be sure to leave a comment below and I'll try to answer your question. But yeah, I think more or less you can find everything here. So now I'm gonna just talk briefly about the weather in Spain. So, tiempo en España, el tiempo en España. So, I don't know if I can properly draw, well, more or less, Spain is something like this. So, for example, the weather is not the same all around the country, but it could be divided in four main areas. For example, we have here the north of Spain. So the north of Spain is influenced by the Atlantic Ocean that is here, and that makes the temperatures a bit more temperate. So we have mild winters and summers. Then we have here, well, all these, the south of Spain, so Andalusia, Murcia area. It's influenced, the weather comes from the north of Africa, and that makes the temperatures like quite extreme during the summer. It can reach to it can reach to 40 degrees Celsius, and even over that. So yeah, but the winters are normally mild. And then we have all the the interior area of Spain. So the interior area, because it's not influenced by the either the Mediterranean Sea or the Atlantic Ocean, it doesn't receive these like calming, like the regulative, how you say, forces maybe. So the temperature here in the interior part is very extreme. So the winters are normally very cold and the summers are very hot. So for example, Madrid is here in the center, right? It's a bit harsh there, both winters and summers. And then we have the east part of Spain. So the east part is regulated by the Mediterranean Sea that is here. So that makes the temperatures like very mild. So it has mild winters. The summers are not that hot, but the thing is that the area is very humid. So you know that when it's humid, it feels more hot than it really is. So yeah, so we have those four areas: north, norte, the interior part, centro, el interior. Then we have the south, el sur de España, and the east part, este, el este de España. And we have those four types of climate. Of course, on Latin American countries, it's a lot different, and each of them has a different weather. But as I mentioned, we are gonna only talk today about Spain. And then the last topic is romper el hielo. Romper el hielo is break the ice. So I think it's done everywhere in the world, right? Like when you don't know what to talk about with someone, like the easiest thing to talk about is the weather. So one expression we normally use is que, and then you insert the word you like about the weather, hace. So que calor, so hot. Que calor hace. Que calor hace. So how hot it is, it would be maybe translated into English. So que calor hace. And depending on your intonation, it can be it can be a way of talking, like initiating a conversation with someone. Like, ¿qué calor hace, verdad? For example, verdad is right. So it's like you are asking the other person. But you can also say, ¿qué calor hace? And that's, it's super hot, like you are complaining. So depending on the intonation, it can either be a way to initiate a conversation or a way of complaining. ¿Qué frío hace? It's also like, it's super, super cold. ¿Qué frío hace? Or you can say, ¿qué frío hace? ¿Qué frío hace, verdad? So it's very cold, right? That could be a way to interact with the other person. So I think we have already like gone over almost all the possible ways to, like, all the words to talk about the weather and everything. Now I want to see, well, you've already like left some comments about that, but now is the time to like let me know what the weather is in the area you are living in. So we have CM Lady, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Está nevando aquí. Está nevando aquí. So it's snowing here. We have also Katie saying, el clima está por debajo de cero aquí. Pero la próxima semana estaré en España. Oh, nice. So Katie is saying that the weather is below 0 degrees there, but next week she's going to be in Spain. Nice. So thank you everyone for your comments. So today we talked about el tiempo, the weather. We first learned how to ask, ¿qué tiempo hace? And then we saw that there are 3 verbs that we use to answer that question. So hace, hay, está. So I hope that you learned something useful this week, and remember to review all of these words after the lesson, because if not, it's a bit hard to remember all of them, right? And which word goes with which verb if you don't like review it afterwards. So, yeah, before leaving you, I wanted to remind you that we have created some PDF cheat sheets with useful vocabulary and phrases about a lot of different topics. So, very useful to print them, take them with you, and keep studying Spanish after this lesson. So, yeah, you know that learning a language is something you have to do like a little bit of every day, so you can put as a kind of objective or goal to, for example, study one of these each week. And yeah, little by little, you will be building your vocabulary, and it will be easier for you to create like more complex sentences in Spanish. So yeah, remember to click on the link on the description below and sign up for a free lifetime account to get them. And yeah, that's all for this week. I hope that you found the lesson useful. I won't be here next week, but Laura will be here, and she will be talking about can and can't, so poder and no poder, in Spanish with all of you. So I hope that you are looking forward to it, and I hope that you're here next week. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for joining me, and see you. Nos vemos. Hasta luego.